Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It is a live edition, a Thursday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go give them a visit. That's International Diamond Center. Today's show, we'll have Brent Beaird, our college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter. And the second portion, Win with JC. He and Zach will give you all the winners you possibly need. PGA Championship's underway. And we got an overtime basketball game in the NBA last night. Cavaliers come from behind and defeat the Pistons. And let's go to the Titan MR hotline and talk a little college football with our college football analyst, Heisman Trophy voter, Brent Beaird. What's up, Brent?
It's a very interesting time of year. Shane, you remember like I do, there used to not be anything going on in May. Now we've got TV schedules that are coming out by the day. And we've got playoff possibilities and things of that nature going on. And the great thing is, very possibly in 2 weeks when we talk, we'll have a preseason magazine in our hands. How about that?
I know. I know you look forward to that. You kind of hang out at bookstores and Publix waiting on those magazines.
That's right.
Brent, you know, it's crazy. You look on Twitter, you know, there's all kinds of stuff out there, but now we have the most expensive rosters in college football.
Yeah, and again, we think this is fairly accurate. You don't really know, but the top 10, I'll give real quick. Texas, $47 million. Miami is second. How about that? At 44, they've gone all in. Ohio State at 43, LSU at 42, Oregon at 42, Notre Dame at 40. But there's also an article about Notre Dame having to cut back on several sports that's made the news too. Texas A&M at 38, Bama's at 37, Tennessee at 36, and Texas Tech, who you've heard being one of the more teams willing to spend money, is at 36. So that's just a quick synopsis of the top 10, Shane. And you remember not long ago when they were talking about wanting every school to have a cap around $20 million. Well, that's easily twice that we just given out.
Yeah, I also saw something that I screenshot the other day about athletic donations for schools in the SEC. And again, you don't know how accurate it is or not.
Sure.
But I'm going to run this down. It says Texas is at number one at $168 million. Tennessee was at $110 million. OU at $92 million. Alabama 66. LSU 65. Mississippi State at 60. Auburn at 56. Georgia at 52. A&M at 50, and the Gators at $49 million. But then I saw some Texas A&M guy arguing, saying the 12th man club or whatever that foundation is there was like at $125 million. So who knows what to believe when you look at Twitter in today's world. But the amount of money is just absolutely insane being thrown around with these programs. There's no question about that. Brent, this college football season, week 2 is going to be a damn good one.
It really is. Well, week 2 actually is probably better than week 1. And we'll get into week 1 too. Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan, Arkansas, Utah, Missouri, Kansas, Washington State, Kansas State, Oregon, Oklahoma State, Arizona State at A&M, Iowa State at Iowa. That's pretty early for that game. Arizona, BYU, Cal, and Syracuse, Mississippi State, Minnesota. So those are those are some of the games that folks are looking at that will be very interesting in week 2.
Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, can you ask Brent his thoughts on the new Lane Kiffin drama where he's acting like some blue-haired, blue-nose ring activist in the comment by Sark regarding Ole Miss's academics?
Oh, me, we could spend a whole segment on this, but Vanity Fair interviewed Lane, and Lane, look, he said what he did, and then later he apologized for it, or he said, well, I didn't really mean that, frankly. But look, I know he's getting a lot of criticism. I will say that Lane has grown up some, particularly after his father's death, and he's still got a ways to go, but he's still a good coach. It's going to be fascinating to see what they do at LSU. You never quite know what Lane's going to say and what mood he's in to say it. So yes, what he has said and not said is made quite the and this is talking season, as I love to say. So what he's saying is made all the rounds. Yes.
Bruce Ogre, State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, what time do the guys that teed off at 6:45 a.m. at the PGA have to get up in their morning to do their regular routine? Well, usually they would get to the course to have like an hour and a half warm-up session. So early wake-up call for those guys.
Oh, really?
For sure. Yeah, it's but it's the PGA Championship. They can suck it up, Brent. They can suck it up. All right, we already know College Game Day, which I know a lot of people love. They've already said where they're going to be the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, Clemson and LSU, which obviously Lane being at LSU now. And look, I've already seen predictions that LSU is going to win that game 3 or 4 touchdowns. I'm not sure I agree with that yet, but that's kind of what's out there. Ohio State at Texas also the following week. And by the way, this is kind of interesting. ESPN Game Day will have their 500th show this year. They started back in '87 with Tim Brando, Bino Cook, and Lee Corso, and they did the show from Bristol. Then they found out they could go on the road and do what they did and have done. So that's kind of what you've got now. But yes, for first 2 weeks, the Lane Kiffin saga will go on, and then we'll have the rematch of Texas and Ohio State, which will be very interesting too.
Yeah. All right, Brent, they've already given us some TV times for the kickoffs of week 1 games. Give us a rundown of those. Yeah. Thursday of September the 3rd is Colorado at Georgia Tech. That's going to be interesting. Dion Yes is still at Colorado. Georgia Tech lost a lot of coaches, but that's a good program. Miami's at Stanford on that Friday. That's a 9:00 start, a little later, but that's what you've got. And that will be an interesting game. That could be a dangerous game for Miami to start the season. Then on the 5th, which is Saturday, East Carolina and Alabama at noon, which will be, you could probably fry an egg on the seats on that day. Baylor at Auburn. That game is in Atlanta at 3:30. Then Clemson at LSU on Sunday the 6th. There are actually 2 games. The main game people are going to be looking at for is going to be LSU at Ole Miss. That's going to be the ABC game. And then what I think is going to be a big game for FSU. FSU, again, is the Monday night game to start the season. SMU comes in. SMU is a good team. That's going to be tough for FSU. So hopefully FSU will play well and they'll stay in that game. And Shane, if I may, there is a Black Friday triple header on ABC
Mississippi State at Ole Miss in the noon. Florida State will be at 3:30. And again, that's a Friday. And then Texas A&M will be the 7:30 game. So all those games, a triple header on ABC on that day.
Yeah. I guess in week one, that Louisville Ole Miss game in Nashville is going to be a good one, I think.
It really will.
I'm looking forward to that. All right, Brent, we talked last week, and there's still continued talk about the expansion of the playoffs. And with the expansion of the playoffs, do you eliminate the conference championship games? And we talked about the dollar amounts that the SEC championship game brings in. The Big 12, I think the SEC is around $100 million. Big 12,
yes.
Big 10's around $75 million, and Big 12 around $50 million. How in the world are they going to replace that kind of money?
Look, that's a great question. They say they can do that by having a playoff and having more games, but your point is a good one. I mean, look, that is, and people need to think about that a minute. For the SEC alone, that is 80 to 100. I'm seeing different figures on it, but it's at least 80 to $100 million. That's for one game. And Shane's point's a good one. But the reality of it is, the people who want the playoff extended will tell you very quickly that, frankly, and look, there's some validity to it. I mean, Georgia and Alabama played last year. Georgia won going away, but both teams made the SEC championship game. And again, they made a lot of money from it. So they're saying, well, if we have a playoff, we need to get started earlier. So that there are a lot of, and then look, nothing's been settled yet, but there's certainly a lot of people with a lot of arguments that are going on. And to Shane's point, that's that's a whole lot of money to lose. And are you going to be able to recoup that money down the line?
Yeah. Sankey came out and said that the SEC will never play Friday night football games. I am very glad of that. I think Friday night should be all high school. However, all the other Power 4 teams play games on Friday nights. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've got some mixed emotions on that, but I agree with you. But frankly, I mean, I wrote basically high school stories for years, and understand how important that is for people to be able to watch. But the SEC, and they deserve some credit for this, have been pretty staunch in not having games on Friday nights. And a lot of people do. And again, we just mentioned a few minutes ago, Texas and Texas A&M is going to be on Friday night, but that is basically after the majority of the high school season is over.
Yeah. Brent, the SEC championships for the athletic season this year. Now, this is to date. I mean, you still have track and things of that nature, or maybe track is over. I can't keep up with it. But give us a rundown of who's won the most SEC titles. Yeah,
this is interesting when you look at kind of where the whole year is at that point. And look, and this is a big story, frankly, in that what we really don't know is how is this going to be affected with the money and how this is going on so that's your reality of it. But again, Texas leads off and leads everybody at this point with that. That is happening. I'm also trying to find my place here because I've lost it. But here we go. Yeah. I'm sorry. Texas is first with 6. Florida's second with 4. Arkansas is 3. Oklahoma is 3, and then Auburn, Kentucky, A&M have 2. And like Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee have 1. LSU has 0. This is, as Shane said, not just football, but it's everything that is involved. So that's kind of interesting. That Texas leading and Florida second.
Yeah. Kanye Ron on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, who are some of the coaches, Brent, you think FSU may go after if they get rid of Mike Norvell?
Boy, that's a great question. And look, if they get rid of him, they will probably do something. I would think that, look, we're firing coaches earlier and earlier. You remember last year there were several coaches fired before Halloween. So that's your issue there now. I mean, look, I've heard, and Shane, I'm curious if you've heard the same thing, and I've just couched it as a rumor right now of even them trying to bring Jimbo back, if you can believe that. So we'll have more names on that as it goes along. That there'll be some up and coming names, frankly, but hopefully they can right the ship and do okay. But that's going to be one to watch if they get off the rails. I think that's why that opener with SMU for them is so important. They don't need to get blown out in that game, Shane.
Yeah. I don't like their chances. The ACC, speaking of Florida State, is now, they've been playing a couple of games over in Ireland. They're going to go to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they having all these international games?
Yeah, the money, I'm sure, is a lot of that. For instance, this is not this coming year, but it's going to be next year. Syracuse and Wake Forest, which probably doesn't, frankly, do a lot for people to get excited about, but that game's going to be in Toronto, Canada. That's a week 0 matchup with that also. So that's one of the games that they're doing. They've got a trip to South America with NC State and Virginia that are going to play too. And then you've got, I know you've also got games in Ireland. TCU's involved with one of those. And I think Pittsburgh and Wisconsin will be playing there in 2027. So great point. I mean, I guess they can sell it. But Shane, look, that's a lot of money. I really would be curious what they clear when all that's said and done.
Yeah. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville and the city of Alachua. All right, Brent, let's go around the league. What's going on in Tuscaloosa with Alabama?
Yeah, Alabama and Oklahoma State have canceled their upcoming non-conference games in 28 and 29. Alabama instead kept their game with Ohio State basically around that time. So that's one thing that you will see. There'll be a lot of interest in that game. But again, the thing we're talking about here is it's not just Alabama; it's the entire SEC. Is you've added, starting this year, the additional conference game, and then you're talking about playing a major opponent. And this is part of the reason why people want the playoff extended, because they want teams to have a little more grace if they lose some of these big games. But the TV loves them, and we will continue to have those, such as Auburn and Baylor in Atlanta on September the 5th. So that will be interesting too.
Yeah, Michael, one of our great sponsors, says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, will the Florida-Colorado series happen, or will it get canceled? Would love to go to Boulder for a game. That place is amazing. That's a great question. I don't know if that has been canceled yet or not. I thought it was when we went to the 9-game SEC deal, but I'll try to ask somebody about that. I'm not 100% sure. Speaking of the Gators, Brent, what's going on with them?
Yeah, Andrew Beard is no relation, by the way, he spells it differently. 4-star 2027 running back has joined the class. He's 5'9", 197. Also from Bogart, Georgia, by the way, which is interesting. So he is one of the latest additions. The Gators have really been on a heater in recruiting, and they've really just done an excellent job. So, and that coaching staff is getting around. They do a lot of television, do a lot of radio, and look, that's one of the things you do is get people interested in your program. And frankly, right now, Shane, I think this Florida coaching staff has done as good a job of that as anybody has.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's no question about it. Brent, what about the Dogs in Athens?
Yeah, the interesting thing here, they've had some high-profile coverage about the Florida State game in Georgia, home and home in 27 and 28. They've actually had a few decommitments, which is a little bit unusual for them. Donta Wright, who's a 5-star cornerback, is no longer committed to Georgia. So that, but I mean, that just happens. And it's not like Georgia is not recruiting, but people were kind of mentioning that Georgia will be fine in recruiting. I don't have any doubt about that. But some of these guys they change their mind, the money changes, and so forth. So if you're a Georgia fan, yes, I think they've lost like 3 in the last few weeks, but they will more than make up for it too.
Brent, what's going on with the LSU Tigers? I mean, there's always some type of news coming out of there.
It's just amazing. It's just almost moment by moment. Frankly, Shane, I'm curious if you hear this too from some of the people who cover LSU. The thing we hear is that LSU needs some time. Now, early on, they start obviously with Clemson. They've got the big game with Ole Miss at Ole Miss, and that's going to be just off the charts. But the following week, LSU actually comes back home and they play Texas A&M. So, look, September is not going to be easy at all. And a lot of the LSU beat writers have told us that, yes, they will be good, but the reality is he still is going to bring his complete team in, and they are not complete at this point. So they've got a lot of recruiting to do and so forth. They'll make up for it with TV and all the exposure that they're going to have during this time too. But they've got a tough schedule going on, and we will certainly follow it. The amount of money for ticket prices that they've got going on. So I'm not going to say it's a circus, Shane, but it's close to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a circus, and there's going to be tremendous pressure there for them to win a bunch of games. If they don't, all hell's going to break loose. Missouri, there's some awful news about a stud running back, Ahmad Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy had a gunshot wound to his upper leg on Saturday morning. Does he come back, and how soon does he come back is very unclear. He has been discharged from the hospital, so fortunately he's okay. But look, I know everybody would realize, man, live, you get in a group of people now, you don't know what's going to go on. But Shane Hardy is one of the better running backs in the league. So they're certainly hoping he'll be back. So our thoughts and prayers go to him, and very grateful that it wasn't worse.
Ole Miss, Pete Golden taking some shots at Lane.
Yeah. The quote is, Lane loves attention. If you look at his Twitter account, that will tell you the story with a lot of that too. I mean, look, they worked together for years, and we understand that. But the funny quote is, if you looked at his Twitter analytics and put them in the ball terms, Ole Miss would have a national championship by now. So they'll be going back and forth. And again, Shane, what's really going to be interesting is the SEC has their annual meetings in Destin. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. And look, I'm it really kind of makes you wonder what if Greg Sankey is not going to say something behind closed doors to these guys to tell them to knock it off. You remember when Mike Slive did this to a couple of coaches when he was the commissioner too? He said, "Look, I've had enough, and I don't want to hear any more about it." Slive, listen, Slive was almost shy in dealing with people. My understanding is, but when he needed to defend the conference, he would and he could do that, Shane.
Yeah, I don't even know what Sarkisian, why he's even taking shots at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I don't either, frankly, but and I think that will be a lot of these coaches. Sankey will probably say something to them at that. Sarkisian said on Ole Miss transfer at Texas will take 50% of the players' academic credits. And you may be a semester from graduating, but you're going all the way back to 50% if you come and play here. All you have to do is take basket weaving, and you can get a degree at Ole Miss. So you can imagine how that went over, Shane.
Yeah. John on the Titan More text line just sent me something that I guess he screenshot from Twitter. Regarding I guess it's about Lane's comments, but it says the SEC's percentage of black students in the SEC. Who would you say has the most black students on campus in the SEC?
Oh, that's a great question.
Students, not athletes. It's just students. It's LSU at 19%. Mississippi State is second. Alabama's third. Wow. Ole Miss is fourth, with the fourth most black students attending. Florida's at 10. No. A&M is at 16. So very interesting. We'll talk about that another time. No. Not that big a deal. But what's going on in the ACC with Florida State, Brent?
Yeah, they have brought in some guys who they like. Jabril Rawls is a cornerback to help them in the secondary. They've also got Quindarius Jones. They like him. They think he could help. He could really help. And I know people aren't familiar with these names yet, but they will be later on about that. Charles Lester III is another guy who they like too. So look, I mean, they've got some players, frankly, but again, as Shane said, they've got some early games like this SMU game to where they've got to, and they just frankly got to play better, is the reality of it is. So, and again, Miami is a lot of excitement from Miami. Darian Mensah comes over from Duke, is going to be a really good quarterback. I think the line of scrimmage for them is going to be important because they lost a lot of that. Their offensive line to the NFL. So they've got a lot of guys who need to step up. Frankly, Malachi Toney is coming back, so that's going to be good for them. And Shane, you look at the guys who are coming back and what they've done, and you can understand why the Canes will be rated very high again. When we talked the other day about some of the recent polls have got them in the top 5, and I think we'll see that in a lot of the polls this year.
Yep. Brent, good stuff as always. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week, my man.
Look forward to it, bud. Take care.
UF grad Michael Schneider, a real estate attorney, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by helping you sell your home or land by owner without a broker. Michael Schneider, PLLC, serves the entire state of Florida. Contact Michael at maschneiderpllc.com. Quick time out. Come back. It'll be Win with JC. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
By now, you heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gala, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
And welcome, everybody. It's the second segment of Matthews in the Morning here on our Thursday. It's with JC, Johnny Cornell here with you, and I will be spending some time this morning, the next 30 minutes with Zach Rothrock as we go through some winners and hopefully some wagers that will win as we review what happened last night. We'll go forward with the PGA tournament, which is starting today up in Philadelphia. We'll have the Major League Baseball schedule from this afternoon, lots of afternoon games we can look at. And we'll recap what happened last night in the NBA and NHL, and that's where we will start because, first of all, look, I mean, the NBA has been hard for me to watch with all the blowouts. But last night, I actually sat here with my friend Dave here in Tallahassee. I'm in Tallahassee. I have a member guest tournament, and this is where the Lady Gator golf team just spent the last couple of days, finishing third, by the way, in their regional here at Seminole and qualifying, of course, for nationals in La Costa, California. So Emily Glazer taking her girls out to California to try to win a national championship. Wake Forest and Florida State finished slightly ahead of Florida in this regional, but it's okay because the Gators are on their way to the national championship tournament. Last night, as I mentioned, basketball and hockey were just dramatic. And finally, we got some drama in the NBA because we've been sitting around watching these blowouts, and it's unwatchable. But the Cleveland Cavaliers last night in Game 5 against the Detroit Pistons with the series tied 2-2, home teams winning and covering mostly the entire series. The Cleveland Cavaliers break through last night, losing by 9 points with 2.5 minutes to go in the game and winning in overtime to beat the Detroit Pistons, who just simply gave that game away. That's all you can look at it As if you had Detroit, you got to be upset about it. Up 9 with 2.5 minutes left. They can't close it. So game 6 at Cleveland Friday. The winner is going to face the New York Knicks. They are in the Eastern Conference, just sitting around waiting and getting healthier for the winner of this series. Game 6, which is a closeout game for Cleveland, is tomorrow night. The Cavs are 4.5-point favorites. The total is 209.5. Detroit is up against the wall now. In the West, we have the San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves playing tomorrow night in game number 6 in Minneapolis. If the Spurs win that, they will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who swept the LA Lakers. In hockey last night, Colorado down 3-0 in their game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Wild. It was game 5. Minnesota trying to force a game 6 back in Minnesota, up 3-0. The Rockies, the Avalanche pull the goalie and pull out this win 4-3 in Denver last night. They are your odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup right now. I've got them in pocket to win the Stanley Cup at 2-1. And tonight, game 6 in Anaheim on the pond, as they will face the Las Vegas Golden Knights in game 6 of that series. I've got Anaheim plus 1.5 games in that series. If the Ducks win tonight, I win that bet, and they don't even have to win the series. Let's bring in Zach Rothrock, our producer, who is watching this basketball. I'll tell you, Zach, last night, if you had the Cleveland Cavaliers, that ticket was looking pretty flimsy, but they came back in the first half down 15. They came back down 9 with 2.5 minutes left to win the game outright. The total came in over. It was very much headed for an under, but Cleveland goes on a late run. Detroit completely goes quiet, and the Cavaliers are forcing game 6 to close it out.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. I actually had a parlay. I had the Cavs and the Avs. So for the first, at about halftime of those games, I was thinking,
wow.
I was like, this looks really dark and grim right now, but it ended up working out, and both teams ended up winning in overtime.
It was incredible. That Colorado game, I put $11 on it and won $63 when they were down 3-0. They were plus 475. I said, what the hell? What the hell? When it was 3-1, I said to myself, a 2-goal lead is very dangerous for Minnesota. Colorado's winning this. They pull the goalie and win it. I don't know, man. Sometimes you just got to take flyers on these live bets. So what do you like going forward? Do you think Cleveland closes them out laying the 4 tomorrow night?
Yeah, I like Cleveland before the series started, and we got a glimpse as to the reason why I like it. In game 4, to start the third quarter, Cleveland opened up to a 23-0 run. They kind of did that mildly in game 5 also. I think it was more like 16-8 in the third. I think they outscored them by 12. And then they went on the big run late. But the reason why they're able to do this is because Detroit relies too heavily on scoring fast break points. They don't really have a great half-court offense. And so you can really get them through these long spells, these droughts, where they have a really hard time scoring. And so therefore, that's why I like pretty much any playoff team against a team that's built like that, especially one with the star power that Cleveland has. So when you look at them moving forward, I definitely do like the Cavs. And if you look at the East, if Detroit were to win, I would probably take the Knicks. If the Cavs win, I'll take the Cavs over the Knicks.
I've got the Knicks in the Eastern Conference.
I can definitely understand that. To me, the East is like the something's got to give series. It feels like the Knicks always fall short. The Cavs always fall short. The Pistons haven't been to the finals in, I guess, about 20 years or so, but something's got to give. But either way, it feels like whoever wins the East is just going to be waiting on a mammoth, a Goliath, and whoever comes out of the it'll either be OKC or if Minnesota somehow wins San Antonio, it just will be OKC. But I feel like the Spurs do take care of the Timberwolves, and then we'll see what really is the NBA Finals in the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Spurs.
It does feel that way. Right now, the Eastern Conference, the Knicks are a 2-1 favorite to win the Eastern Conference. Cleveland is a 3-1 dog. Detroit is an 8-1 dog. In the West, it's all Oklahoma City, a 3-1 favorite to win the Western Conference. And in the NBA Finals, it's Oklahoma City minus 2-1. San Antonio is a 3-1 dog. New York plus 600. I've got the Knicks at plus 900 to win it all. I just love the way the Knicks are playing offensively. Other things to mention real quick before we move on to golf. Iron Honor is your favorite in the Preakness this weekend. And our glorious sponsor of Titan MRI, Joe Calorio, and his group, his family, own that horse. And of course, his family's owned the Kentucky Derby winner. Now they've got Iron Honor who by the way is going off as the favorite in the Preakness. So I wanted to mention that. And then of course last night I had Tampa Bay, the Rays against Toronto, up 2 in extra innings. Aaron Brooks comes in to try to save the game, and Toronto hits a walk-off grand slam to beat me and the Rays. The Rays play 23 of their next 26 games versus sub-500 teams in that division. The Yankees lost yesterday, so the Rays have a 2-3 game lead. They are up almost 11 games on everybody else in the loss column in the American League East. I love the way the Rays are going, even though they choked it up. But Aaron Brooks is who choked it up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Other news, Devon Achane from the Dolphins, 4 years, $64 million contract for a running back.
That is an absurd number.
Well, $16 million per year on this extension, but only $32 million is guaranteed. So he's guaranteed $8 million per year for the next 4 years, but he will be in Miami. And that's a great contract for him. I'll never forget when Saquon Barkley had to fight and pull teeth just to try to get $10 million out of the New York Giants. Next year he comes out as basically the MVP, wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and gets a $13 million a year contract. And here's Achane, who could potentially make 16 per year. He is their best player, best running back, best offensive threat in Miami, and the Dolphins locked him up for 4 years. Congratulations to Devon Achane out of Texas A&M.
So I actually real quick on that. So their offense this year, with that contract being some evidence, and their wide receiver room being another bit of evidence on this, it feels like their offense is going to be about 70% RPO with Malik Willis and Devon Achane. It feels like it's going to be almost every single play. And so,
you know what? I'd rather watch. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Well, I'd rather watch that than Tua trying to figure out how to throw open receivers all day, when he had more speed on the outside than any team in the league, and still couldn't get it done for the Miami Dolphins. So I'll try something else. Let's give it with Malik Willis. This guy has won as a backup at Green Bay. I think he's very capable quarterback, and in that division, you never know. It's Buffalo and everyone else. Now, the Patriots, of course, go in the Super Bowl last year, but all the controversy with their head coach, I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to get A.J. Brown or not. I don't think Drake May is enough. That was a fluke last year. Their schedule was too easy. It's not going to be that way this year. I don't see the Patriots winning that division, and the Jets are not a factor whatsoever. So that's going to be a division where Miami maybe want to look at their win total perhaps and go there. Also, let's mention real quick, we got hockey tonight. The Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. Buffalo -120. Take it. Go ahead and just take it. You had a nice goalie effort from Luukkonen. Montreal had a chance. They had a chance to go up 3-1. They had Buffalo on the ropes. The Sabres, they let the Sabres back in. Sabres, to their credit, played a great game in Game 4. And I think Buffalo wins this thing in 6. I think they're going to win tonight. I think they're going to win in Montreal and end the hopes of the country of Canada to win a cup for the first time since 1993, which is just fine with me. They can watch another team from their neighbors to the south win the Stanley Cup this year. Buffalo is a 120 favorite. Tonight's Game 5 in Buffalo. Lay the 20 cents.
There you go. And in the West Coast, I feel like a lot of people thought that the Vegas Knights were going to really just skate past the Ducks, but the Ducks would give them a lot of trouble. So it's 2-2 right now. This is Game 5.
No. Vegas is up 3-2. This
Vegas
is
up
Game 6.
3-2. That's right.
Game 6 in Anaheim. The Ducks laying 10 cents. They're short money favorite in that game. This series has been very close. Very close. Vegas, to their credit, pulling it out in overtime against Anaheim in Game 5. They needed to win that game. I think the Ducks will force Game 7. I've got +1.5 in pocket. If the Ducks win tonight, that ticket will cash. But I'm taking Anaheim tonight. Also on the money line, -110. So both home teams are who I've got tonight in the NHL. All right, Zach, it's time for the PGA. They have just started. Alex Fitzpatrick currently at -2 after 2 holes. They've already teed off, but we've got lots of time still to get some cash down on this tournament. This is the second major. Of course, we had the Masters in April. We've got this now in the month of May. We've got the U.S. Open in June, and we've got the British Open in July. I've got 2 guys so far to win. I'll probably bet this as it goes. I've got Scotty Scheffler at 4-1. I can't remember the last time we got Scotty at a 4-1 number. He's minus 200 for the top 10, but I love Scotty in this tournament. Scotty Scheffler has had 3 straight runner-up finishes. Scotty Scheffler in the last 6 PGAs has finished in the top 10 5 times. And in the last 13 majors, he's only missed the top 10 twice. So in the last 13 majors, Scotty Scheffler has not finished in the top 10 only twice. So I think he's ready to pull out this one. I think he's ready to win. He and Rory, between the two of them, have probably, I think they've won somewhere in the neighborhood of, I wrote it down somewhere where he and Rory have basically dominated these majors something like 10 out of the last 20 times. They've finished second or won it. And so I'm really high on Scotty Scheffler. I'm not as high on Rory because he hurt his toe. And if he has a bad round, that toe injury is going to turn into a pulled Achilles, if you will. You know, he'll just fold. I've also got Bryson DeChambeau at 20-1. Why? Because I think this live stuff is over. But here's the thing about Bryson DeChambeau. 3 straight top 4s on PGA courses, meaning the course that they're playing now is very comparable to, say, the course that he won the U.S. Open with at Pinehurst #2 and that he won the U.S. Open with at Winged Foot. They're very close in the way they are set up, where basically, according to Rory, you just hit it and hope. If you can just spray it out there and find it, you will score on these courses. The trees are not going to be an issue, and you have to hit it high and far, and this guy will do that. I think he's going to play great. So I've got Bryson at 20-1. And I really like him in the top 10 also at plus 230. My other top 10s, Tyrrell Hatton at 5-1, JJ Spawn at 5-1, Fitzpatrick at 240. Top 20 tickets, Andrew Novak at 7-1. And Alex Smalley has really played well this year. He's had a bunch of top 20 finishes. He's plus 325. Look at Smalley. Look at Cantlay at plus 140. Justin Thomas has missed the cut 7 of the last 13 times, but played well last week. He's plus 210. Brooks Koepka, 4-time winner of this tournament, I want to say, plus 175. And Ricky Fowler, who's really starting to dial in his irons and putter, at plus 210, all top 20 tickets. So I've got 2 winners at DeChambeau at 20-1, Scheffler at 4-1, top 10s, Hatton, Spawn, and Fitzpatrick, along with Bryson. Top 20s, Novak, Smalley, Cantlay, JT, and Koepka. And as it goes, I'll probably add as we go live, I'm fading Ludwig Oberg. He has missed the cut 4 of the last 6 majors, not named the Masters. So Ludwig does not play well in the majors, unless it's at the Masters. And just do not, I mean, I'd almost, if you can find a missed cut, maybe you want to look at that too, because I don't know what it is about the PGA or the U.S. Open, but this guy cannot get it done in these other majors. He's missed the cut 4 out of the last 6 majors, not named the Masters. So that to me is significant. You got any thoughts about golf?
Yeah, I just have a few quick little trends about the PGA Championship. So 5 of the last champions finished in the top 10 at the Masters in the month prior. And I think most of these apply to Scotty Scheffler, strangely enough. 10 of the last 10 PGA champions have been Americans. 11 of the past 16 have been less than 30, which Scotty Scheffler is barely under 30. And then it also kind of favors the younger golfers, or the ones that have been pros less. I don't think this one applies to Scotty Scheffler, but 12 of the last 17 PGA champions have 5 or fewer starts in the PGA. In fact, it definitely does not apply to Scotty Scheffler. No. But so it's a young man's tournament. It favors the Americans, and it feels like almost every trend you can look up, Scotty Scheffler qualifies for. So it points towards that.
Yeah. Now, Matthew Fitzpatrick, your TPC winner, and Cam Young was a TPC winner. Matthew Fitzpatrick was your he's won twice. Why am I drawing a blank? Rory won the Masters, but Fitz has won a couple of times. He won at Hilton Head. He hasn't won a couple of times, but he's 20-1. I like him because he had a bad week last week at Quail Hollow. And the last time he played badly, which was at Bay Hill before Quail Hollow, he finished inside the top 20 the following week every time. He goes second, first, 18th, first, and first finishes on his rebounds. So we're on a rebound with Fitzpatrick. He's 20-1, and he's plus 240 on top 10. So that's somebody I think you could maybe look at to rebound from last week's bad performance at Quail Hollow. I don't know. I think 20-1, that's pretty good, and almost a 3-1 top 10 number on Matthew Fitzpatrick. His brother is playing outstanding, by the way. Alex is a couple top 10 since he got his tour card. So, golf is going to be a 4-day deal. And I typically like to look at how we're doing on the weekends before I start live betting any of this, just hoping that some of these pre-flop picks come through and have a chance of cashing, especially these top 10s and top 20s. You can get those. If you can start hitting those, then you can take a winner ticket live and probably get a pretty good number on that. But right now, it's Scotty Scheffler for me at 4-1 and Bryson DeChambeau at 20-1. I mean, I just think Bryson is going to play better. This live thing, the word is out. He wants to come back. Everybody's trying to get back. I think that distraction is going to go away, and I think he's going to play better because this is a tournament that will not get you in trouble off the tee with all the trees. There aren't as many trees. You can hit him over the trees here. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to be in play. If he's in play, he's got a chance because his distance is incredible. So I like that. And look at Ricky Fowler. Look, Ricky Fowler last week, great tournament. Could have really won it, actually, but lost with a bogey on the last hole. But a top 20 ticket on Ricky Fowler gets you a 2-1 number. A 2-1 number is pretty good. You can bet $10 and collect 30. You get your 10 back, plus you win 20 on Ricky Fowler just to be in the top 20 when it's all done. So I'm kind of high on Ricky Fowler as my host's pug is raising hell here under the table.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you can hear that, but he is destroying his little monkey doll. Anyway, okay, well, Tallahassee. I'm in Tallahassee, brother. I'm going to wear this hat in Tallahassee and hope that they don't start throwing beer cans at me. If we win this member guest, that's probably what's going to happen. So
maybe. So real quick before we move on, that I do want to talk about your take on Bryson DeChambeau. In general, I feel like I like betting on talent, and I feel like talent wins, and so I do agree that he will eventually bounce back. He's too young in his career to not bounce back from this live thing. And so you might have to take a few losses in riding him and waiting for him to bounce back. But the way the odds work in golf, if you're there and you're betting on him when he does bounce back and he does win, it should pay off. And I think it's going to come sooner rather than later for Bryson.
I'm with you there, and I like him this weekend also as a top 10 finisher. I love Terrell Hatton, though. Nobody talks about him. He's 5-1. JJ Spawn, U.S. Open defending champion, is 5-1. I think in top 10s you can go with those two guys at 5-1. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's go to some afternoon baseball here as we rapidly get through this 30-minute segment. This afternoon, Major League Baseball, for some reason, doesn't play enough afternoon games, but they're playing 7 or 6 afternoon games today. I'm just going to run through the picks I had as I went through it this morning at 6:30 in the morning. The Pirates -1.5. These are my picks. I'm just going to go through them real quick. The Pirates today against the Colorado Rockies. Top 5 in run creation at home are the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are laying a 1.5 at +125. Otherwise, you'll have to lay 170 on the money line. So get me the Pirates with the run line at -1.5. I like the over in the Washington-Cincinnati game. The Nationals can hit, man, and they cannot pitch. Their games tend to fly over the total. It did yesterday as well with the Reds, who are starting to hit a little bit better. That total is only 8.5. Give it to me. Their pitchers give up a lot of home runs. Their bullpens are poor on both accounts. So I'm going to take over 8.5 with Washington and Cincinnati today. The Brewers had a 1-0 lead. Mizrachi was fantastic with 9 strikeouts. His strikeout total flew over that early in the game yesterday. But the Brewers lost to a 3-run homer to the Padres late in the game. I think it was in the 9th inning. But they are -140, 150 favorite today to win the series. Griffin Canning versus Kyle Griffin. I like the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't like laying that big number of 150, but I think they win this game. The Padres have had only 103 runs, 26 runs in 103 innings. That's I'm okay with Milwaukee today laying that number. St. Louis and the I guess you could call them the Sacramento A's. Total's 9.5. Give me that over and give me St. Louis. St. Louis -1.5 +150. I'm really into that number. The Cardinals 26-16 on the run line. They are 14-8 as a road team on the run line. That means you lay 1.5 runs. or more. But in this case, you can get -1.5 at +150, or if you just want to take the money line, it's almost even money. Today, good pitching matchup with the Mets and the Tigers. First 5 unders, 4.5. I love that. And then Houston and Seattle, -1.5 to the Mariners, +125. The Astros are just going to play off this season. It's not going to go well for them the rest of the year. Too many injuries, too many issues. Seattle, -1.5, +125. Another run line for you. And I do think the game could easily go under the 7.5 total there. Some pretty good pitching matchups in that game between Houston and Seattle. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 baseball picks for you. Pittsburgh run line, Washington, Cincinnati over, Milwaukee on the money line, the St. Louis Cardinals over 9.5 with the A's, the St. Louis Cardinals -1.5 on the run line, +150. The under in the first 5 for the Mets and Tigers, under 4.5, and then the Seattle Mariners against the Houston Astros, -1.5, +125. So tomorrow when I get on back with Shane at 8 o'clock, we're going to obviously talk Gator baseball, Gator softball. Gator softball gets the 6th national seed in the NCAA tournament as that begins, I want to say, tomorrow. So how many SEC teams are of the top 8 seeds? If you had guessed 6, you would have been right. If you had taken over 5.5, you would have been right. Alabama is your top seed. Texas is your 2nd seed. Of course, Texas beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. They're the number 2 seed and the defending national champions. Oklahoma is the number 3 seed. They lost in their opening game in the SEC tournament, but they've got 4 out of the last 5 national championships. Patty Gasso has won 8 overall. She is the Vince Lombardi of softball, the Nick Saban of softball. Nebraska is your 4th seed. They won the Big Ten title. Arkansas is your 5th seed. Then the Fighting Gators are the 6th seed. Tim Walton's girls. Tennessee is 7, UCLA 8, and the local team here in Tallahassee, the Florida State Seminoles, who won it in 2018 and then had the 21 and 23 runner-up finishes in the College World Series. The Seminoles are the 9th seed in college softball. Shannon and I will hit up on that again tomorrow. So the Gators get that 6th national seed. If they win the regional, the road to Oklahoma City will go through Gainesville. So I'm not sure how the brackets are seated as to who would come to Gainesville if the chalk holds, but I think Florida as a 6th seed looks pretty strong to make it back to OKC. Quickly, let me go through here. Yes, MSRK, Max Fried, elbow problems for the Yankees. What else is new with the Yankees and their pitching? They will be getting soon Garrett Cole to come back. Carlos Rodon is back. Cam Schlittler right now is your favorite for the Cy Young in the American League. It's only May, though. Do not take those future bets. Those are bad bets. I know that the time value of money is important, but it's too early to, in my mind, even with better odds, to go on a future with Cam Schlittler, but I like him. Barone 71, my man. Here are my locks of the day. Chris Sale plus over 6.5 strikeouts. H. Kim, 1 hit. Braves win. Nats over 3 runs. Love it, Barone. You're going to hit all those. At very least, you'll win 2 out of 3. Good luck to you. Good luck to everybody with your bets tonight and this weekend. We'll be back tomorrow with Shane at 8 o'clock on Matthews in the Morning. Have a good day, everybody.